Hello viewers, welcome to our program on immigration and you. I am your immigration attorney Michael Fulwani, and once again I have with my law partner David Nachman. David, welcome.
Hi, Michael. Pleasure to be here with you. And before we begin, I'd like to just tell our viewers happy Thanksgiving. I know we're a couple of days off from Thanksgiving. We have a really interesting show coming to you today with a lot of really good information. But before we do that, of course, I want to just wish everyone a very, very happy Thanksgiving and take a moment to, of course, thank the individuals who have helped you over the years with regard to your particular immigration status. Michael?
Every year I give this message to all my viewers. आप सब लोगों को बहुत बहुत बधाई थैंक्सगिविंग के टाइम पे। तो इस थैंक्सगिविंग के मौके पर हमेशा एक मैं आपको सजेशन करता हूँ कि आपका जो रिलेटिव फ्रेंड या लॉयर या जो भी था जिसने आपको यहाँ अमेरिका में आने में हेल्प की, उनको आप कॉल करके थैंक यू बोल सकते हैं। और जैसे कि मैंने कहा, अपने इमिग्रेशन लॉयर को डोंट फॉरगेट। Thanks. So very nice of you for all these years watching our program, and we hope that you will continue to watch our programs every Saturday and Sunday. With that note, I want to tell you something about the biggest development. Both David and me, we have been talking about this, waiting many, many years, and looks like that something very important has happened. Basically, President Obama announced his executive action which would shield at least 5 million people from deportation, who will also be granted work permits. We're going to talk a lot of information about what are the things that will be done administratively. But before that,
first, we'll build on our progress at the border with additional resources for our law enforcement personnel so that they can stem the flow of illegal crossings and speed the return of those who do cross over. Second, I'll make it easier and faster for high-skilled immigrants, graduates, and entrepreneurs to stay and contribute to our economy, as so many business leaders have proposed. Third, we'll take steps to deal responsibly with the millions of undocumented immigrants who already live in our country. I want to say more about this third issue because it generates the most passion and controversy. Even as we are a nation of immigrants, we're also a nation of laws. Undocumented workers broke our immigration laws, and I believe that they must be held accountable, especially those who may be dangerous. That's why over the past 6 years, deportations of criminals are up 80%. And that's why we're going to keep focusing enforcement resources on actual threats to our security. Felons, not families. Criminals, not children. Gang members, not a mom who's working hard to provide for her kids. We'll prioritize, just like law enforcement does every day. But even as we focus on deporting criminals, the fact is millions of immigrants in every state, of every race and nationality, still live here illegally. And let's be honest, tracking down, rounding up, and deporting millions of people isn't realistic. Anyone who suggests otherwise isn't being straight with you. It's also not who we are as Americans. After all, most of these immigrants have been here a long time. They work hard, often in tough, low-paying jobs. They support their families. They worship at our churches. Many of their kids are American-born or spent most of their lives here. And their hopes, dreams, and patriotism are just like ours. As my predecessor, President Bush, once put it, they are a part of American life. Now, here's the thing. We expect people who live in this country to play by the rules. We expect that those who cut the line will not be unfairly rewarded. So we're going to offer the following deal. If you've been in America for more than 5 years, if you have children who are American citizens or legal residents, if you register, pass a criminal background check, and you're willing to pay your fair share of taxes, you'll be able to apply to stay in this country temporarily without fear of deportation. You can come out of the shadows and get right with the law. That's what this deal is. Now let's be clear about what it isn't. This deal does not apply to anyone who has come to this country recently. It does not apply to anyone who might come to America illegally in the future. It does not grant citizenship or the right to stay here permanently or offer the same benefits that citizens receive. Only Congress can do that. All we're saying is we're not going to deport you.
Okay, so you now saw what President Obama said. Now, this is not the complete speech, and we will bring in our forthcoming programs other parts of the speech which may be very interesting and helpful. But let me say something about this program, about this administrative action. First of all, we are very happy for some of the things, and there are a lot of things probably most people don't even know. We are very happy about that. But let me also say we are a little unhappy also because some of our viewers and many of the people who expected that this program will help them also has not happened. And basically, a couple of things that they did not happen is they were thinking of extending the DACA type of program to the parents of the DACA people that got permission under DACA or were eligible under that. For whatever final reason, they did not do that, and that was a disappointment. And again, initially we were thinking that all the illegal aliens who are long-term, 10 years, 15 years, or 8 years, will try to get in this program. Their deportation will be deferred, and they'll be also getting the work permit. That also did not happen. But still a lot of good things happen, and with that I'm going to tell David to give some highlights of the action that has happened. You see this newspapers, and you see the other TV stations. You also see the speech of Obama. That's very like a lot of political stuff there. A lot of things they are talking about, opposing or granting the reasons for he did that, the reasons why they want to kill and all that. But there are a lot of detailed, very good information that we know that we want to share with you today. So what we'll do today, David is going to give you some highlights of what is contained in this. And going forward in the new programs, we will at length discuss each of these items, and then we'll be more than happy to respond to your questions as well. So David, let us go with the main highlights of this memorandum.
Thanks so much, Michael. And what I hope to be able to do is to sort of break down or encapsulate for our viewers what exactly the highlights of the administrative relief are. And I think the most important thing is first just to take a quick second to explain to everyone that this was not an executive order. It was not a bill or legislation. What this was administrative relief. Essentially what President Obama did, as you saw it on your screen before and probably also on Thursday night, you saw President Obama make an announcement about extending powers that he has available to him that are the same powers that other presidents have used. And of course, what he did was very political. And it was political in the sense that what he was trying to do is to push Congress to do the right thing, and that is to go ahead and issue a bill or put a bill together for him to be able to sign. So as Michael and I have been here telling you for many, many months, the Senate had drafted a bill. It was a bipartisan bill, and that bill was a fair bill, and even the president referenced it in his speech. And what essentially the president, I think, is doing by using the administrative relief is pushing Congress to give him the reform that he really wants. And I think that that reform, as Michael previously pointed out, also encapsulates or brings in, sweeps in some benefits for, of course, everyone, as opposed to the limited number of people that we see within the benefits that were granted on Thursday night. So with that, I think what I'd like to do is just give you a broad outline of what happened. So number one, there was an and Michael and I will get into each one of these in detail. Sure. Number one is there was an expansion of DACA. DACA is the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. That was the administrative relief that was granted back in 2012. So we'll talk about that. We'll tell you where that expansion happened. Number two is there was an expansion altogether of DACA in terms of its administrative relief, where it balloons into what we refer to as DAP, or DACA program for all. Or I think that's how we referred to it before, right. But it's for all persons. And so what we're going to do is we'll refer to that and tell you about how you do registration, what the timing is, and what you have to have in your background
When
in
you
order to
say
get
for
that.
all persons, I think they are defined which ones.
Yeah, there's
Because,
certain, exactly, there's certain
it's not
parameters
all-
on
not
who
all illegal,
qualifies.
undocumented
That's exactly
aliens.
right, and we'll get into that. The next category is an expansion of the provisional waiver, the provisional waiver rules, which many of you know about because you've heard us refer to it when we speak to you about that. And also there's a modernization of the non-immigrant and immigrant visa classifications. So those are the big highlights about what was going on. But now I think what we'd like to do is drill down and tell you about some of the details. So first, with regard to the deferred action, the DACA extension. Okay, so what we see is that, first of all, with regard to DACA, number one, the upper age cap is going to be eliminated, and people of any age now can apply, which there was an age cap, if you remember, of 31 years of age. So now that's going to be opened up. The physical presence date is advanced now to January 1st, 2010. So you can actually have entered much later.
You see, the
So-
importance of that is the old DACA said about 2007.
Correct.
So they would say that you must have resided in the U.S. at least 5 years.
5
That
years
was in 12.
continuously,
So
right.
from 2007 to 2012, you must have physically been here.
Exactly.
Now, this extends to people who even resided from 2010 to 15. And there, in my opinion, is probably going to be double the number of what happened previously.
I agree. I think it's going to be double the number. And also, it was clear that the applications are going to be in 90 days from the announcement of November 20th. So that is, so we're going to start in the new year submitting applications. Now, the other thing that DACA is also going to be expanded to 3 years instead of 2.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to get employment authorization documents for 3 years instead of 2.
And not only that, David, even those who got the DACA for 2 years, their time will be extended by another 1 year, so that will be valid for 3 years.
For 3 years, exactly. So people who are doing DACA extensions right now can anticipate a 3-year grant as opposed to the 2-year grant. So that's very exciting for DACA beneficiaries, of course. But what's more exciting, and by the way, I think it's really important to point out that each one of these things that we're talking about was addressed in a memorandum that was released on November 20th. We have these memorandum. We're happy to send them to you. If you just send us an email with a request, we're happy to send these memorandum. Or you can feel free to go on to our website and actually at www.visaserve.com, there's a link to another website, which we just set up. It's a special website for administrative relief alone. And what we're doing is we're posting the source documents on that website. So you'll be able to get those documents. So each one of these things.
And David, and
Yes.
after you read the memorandum, if you still have questions about that, please feel free to send us an email.
Absolutely.
And we will see what we can give you a clarification or some additional information about
Exactly.
that.
And you're going to have questions because a lot of it is still unclear. But what's nice is they're starting to hone things down and give us more details. And that's what's really nice. So there's a memorandum that deals specifically with the expansion of DACA, as I just discussed. Now, there's also something that, again, I referred to as DAP, or the expansion of a DACA type of program for individuals who have been in the United States if you're a parent of a U.S. citizen and if you're parents of U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents, so if your children are citizens and lawful permanent residents, you are now eligible or should be eligible for deferred action if you've been in the United States.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The parent is illegal. Parents are illegal.
Correct.
That want to also get a DACA type of benefit.
It's a deferred action.
Deferred action.
Right.
So that is now made, they will give them that status provided they have either U.S. citizen or green card holder children.
Correct.
So that I think is huge. In my opinion, it is huge.
Exactly.
The unfortunate thing is that the DACA children's parents, they would not get the benefit. Because what's the difference
That's right.
between the DACA children and this new thing is this. In the DACA, the children were illegal. The children were illegal, and that's why and they made the requirements of the age and other things, and they were able to get DACA. In this case, the children are green card holders and citizens. The parent is illegal. So it is the parent that is applying that program. But additionally, there are also children, a lot of children that now that age limit is removed, so they will be able to apply and got a DACA also.
Exactly. And so all of this is really, I think it's important for everyone to understand that this is done in the name of family unity. And so essentially what the president did, and he did it, I wish he was a little more articulate in his speech, but unfortunately he doesn't have a lot of time in his speech. But you have to meet the following guidelines in order to be able to take advantage of this provision to get the employment authorization.
I wish, President Obama, I'm right about that. Articulate. I wish that he had somebody like me in the White House to give this kind of information and advice. So go ahead.
Exactly. But number one, persons had to have been in the United States on November 20th. They had to have had a son and daughter who's a USC or lawful permanent resident. They have to have resided continuously in the United States since January 1st, 2010. Also, they had to have had no lawful status on November 20th, 2014, when the announcement was made. They also cannot be an enforcement priority, which we'll explain in a future show. And also, they can present no other factors that would limit the exercise of discretion to be an individual who is can take advantage of deferred action. So this is a wonderful benefit that probably is going to end up covering close to 4 million people in the United States. If you're one of those people, we highly recommend that you reach out for competent legal counsel to do an assessment of whether or not this benefit applies to you. If you're in a proceeding, this benefit also may apply to you. You may be able to administratively close the proceeding and to pursue this benefit. So with that, Michael.
See, what I'm saying that right now, today in this program, we are giving them the highlights of what is contained. But believe me, each of these items, each of these points that we are talking today needs a lot of detailed discussion, explanation as to who would qualify, what kind of benefit you will get from, how to when and how to apply for that, and what kind of documentation that we still don't know, but we can imagine based upon our experience. We say, you have been here for so many years, so then they will want to see the record. We'll be talking in the future programs at more details, but today's program we were decided to give you most of the information in the highlight way that you at least know what it contains.
Exactly, what happened. Yeah, so we are in the process.
Yes. Some people have this also, the amnesty. They keep on saying amnesty, amnesty. There is no amnesty. There is no getting a green card. This has nothing to do with becoming a citizen. What is this thing? This is basic when David says deferred deportation. So what they are saying that, listen, we are not deportable. Now, you don't have to be in deportation proceedings. Deportable people who are illegal could be arrested and deported. So he says, no, we will not deport people who will meet these requirements. So that is very clear. They don't have to even worry about that. Not only that, in addition to that, these people are also getting an EAD, permission to work in the US, which is a great thing.
For a 3-year period.
3-year period.
Right.
And I know this question, everybody is waiting to say this. They haven't gone back to India. Father died, mother died, this gets said. They could not travel. So that is one thing that we believe based upon, they're not announced, but I think that may happen, that they may also give a permission to travel. These DACA people, they can go out and come back. So this is a big thing. I'm telling you,
we'll talk about that in a later show. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a later show. But I think that we're running short on time, Michael. With that, why don't we let the viewers know that we will be back. We will be talking about some of the additional items that President Obama set forth in his administrative relief.
Well, I wish we could talk all about today, but I know that we have a limited time. But we will, each program will give you more detailed information and guidance how you may qualify or may not qualify. But then I just want to say a last word, that I know that there are a lot of viewers who are frustrated because they are not coming in all this program, but I have a feeling anything could happen in the past. Maybe President Obama, after a few months or so, he may decide to do another to cover most of the other. But that is a possibility. The Republicans may, get the point that this is not a good way to do, and let us, legislate CIR. And if the comprehensive immigration reform bill is much better than this, President Obama has clearly said that if you guys come and pass the CIR, I'm going to withdraw all these administrative memos. That could happen. So let us see. We pray God something may happen for you guys also who do not meet now. But don't worry. We are at peace. Something is going to happen. With that, David, thanks a lot for being on the program, and thank
My
all
pleasure,
of you for
Michael.
watching
Thank
the
you so
program.
much.
Please keep watching us every Saturday and Sunday at 11:40 a.m. on ITV. Thank you.